Oh, look at this. Hello. Welcome to the channel. Guess what? You made it. And automatically, just by watching this, you are the most attractive person on this live stream right now. So welcome. My name is Jay. You can find him on social media at Casino Dealer Jay. My co-host, as always, is...
Hey, everybody. My name's John. You all know me, at least from this anyway. So I really enjoy coming on here and chatting every week and just blowing 2 hours and having a few laughs.
Our part-time co-host is the guy that looks like he just came from a Buck Hunter video game party.
Hi, I'm Mike, and I am the current Pie Gout champion.
Yes, congratulations on that win. No, spoiler alert, I was going to actually do the show, like the replay tomorrow, but thanks for ruining it, Mike, as always.
Mike ruined it.
Well, next thing you're going to say the ending of Star Wars and The Mandalorian. Do you want to talk about that too, or you okay?
We'll save it. We'll save
okay,
it.
Good. Okay. Well, nonetheless, we have our guest in the waiting here, so let's bring him out. Our guest this week. Oh, this is the quarter quell of our Talking Craps season, the 25th silver anniversary episode. So, who better to join us than Chris Burke?
Hey, good to be here. Thank you.
Well, Chris, it's so great to finally have you on. There's actually a request from a lot of the Casino Industry Canada people to have you on. So welcome to the channel finally. So
Yes, it's good to be here.
Awesome.
Nice to see your faces.
Yeah, look, we've all gotten more handsome over the years, and I'm not including yourself. So for the people that never got the opportunity to work with you, Chris, could you kind of give everyone a history of your time in Alberta gaming?
Okay, yeah. Well, my name is Chris Burke. It says it right on the screen. I started back in the 70s, back in the olden days, with Bizarre Novelty. And I also worked with ABS back then. And there was another company called Black Gold as well for a while. So I grew up through the years, and then I took a few years off and then came back with the Palace when they started up at the mall. And I've been with them for about 20 to 30 years now. And I left in 2009 and been keeping up with it a little bit. I've got my daughter and my sister still in the business and lots of friends. So yes, it was a wonderful time of my life.
Awesome.
Dealing and pitting and moving up to become a manager and going through all the growing pains and stuff through the years.
Chris, I have a question, and I worked with you in the Palace for 5 years, and you probably told me, but it's been a long time and a lot of drinks since then. How did you actually get into casinos? Like, I know that you worked in it back in the 70s. How did you get into it?
Well, first of all, the casino at Northgate, which started back in the 70s, was only a couple blocks from my house. And sure enough, I heard about it and went out and took some training, became a blackjack dealer, and continued from there. And then when it came to the Palace Casino, my mother had a church group, and they were part of the original investors that started it. And she encouraged me to come into the Palace and work there as well. And that's how I started there.
Awesome. All right. Go ahead, John.
No, so from the time you started, what was it like when you started in the 70s? I mean, it was a whole different experience, I'm sure, like the casinos then, right?
Absolutely. It was always fun. It was always, um, counting to 21 and dealing cards. That part never changed. The game itself, but it went through growing pains. I mean, we used to be um, in Northgate, and we had limited hours, and we didn't even work weekends. That all changed. Hours grew, and weekends came and went. I mean, even you guys must remember the days of 100 T4 slips at the end of the year,
Yeah.
working 2 days at a time for somebody different each time. Yeah, it was very interesting. It was the younger days. Um, in fact, in the 70s, there was a little bit of a rumble about unions when the government wanted to reduce our wages. Um, I can't remember what we were making, $5, $6 or whatever an hour, and they wanted to roll them back to four and a quarter or something like that. And so they were also going to cut back on the expenses that the operators could uh, put in as well. So what happened was there was a louder voice with all the employees. So it was actually encouraged to get together and unite and complain to the government back then. And that was the first talk about unions, but that didn't last very long. When the government relented and didn't roll the wages back, then everything went to the way it was before. Then later, the palace was the first one to organize and become a union.
So Chris, sorry, I keep asking questions. I'm so curious. Oh no, I swear to God, I think it's like you have this like, encyclopedia knowledge of like Alberta gaming, right? It's so cool. I mean, how many games or what games did they have back when you walked into the casino, like when he started?
Well, it was just basically blackjack and roulette. Those were the main games. Games were added as time went, and training for certain games was allowed. Um, Back in the day, an operator could only charge so much per table, so much per dealer, so much for the equipment and rent, such that it kept everything limited. And once it changed, before the casinos used to just keep their own money, but once pooling started, things started to really change in the gaming business.
Awesome.
It started moving a lot faster. There was more voices, more operators.
Okay, just a couple quick comments here. CB, you're getting a shout out from Sam. That's Sam. Sam S. So she says hello. Another person also saying hi is Dawn D. Hello.
Hello.
And Mr. Daryl says, "Oh my God, CB, shave for no matter what."
Christmas is over.
Yeah. So, Steve, I have a one quick question, and I don't want to take it because I know Mikey has a limited time, but I remember years ago that you were like a big fan of like the CFL, and you used to go to you had season tickets.
Yeah.
And I remember meeting you there one time, and you somehow used to bring in your own Coke bottles that had special CB, like ingredients in it, but you had a cap that didn't look like it'd been opened. And I remember asking you, like, where did you get those caps so you can sneak them in? And you're like, I have a friend. and I never found out. I was like, this guy's a genius. So I never found out where you got them. So I think you need to spill the beans because it's been a long time.
Well, for that exact point, I had a friend who worked at a bottling company, and he would bring me sealed lids, and I could take an old lid off and put the new one on, and it maintained the seal. But those were the days when I used to bring a 1 liter. When I first started, they used to have 3 liter thirst busters, and I used to pack those in with a whole bottle of whiskey in that.
All
The
right.
good old days. There's a lot of second halves I can't remember.
Rosalie would agree. I think Daryl's still talking about the shaving. So
Yeah, Rosalie is not my sister. It's Rosaline, but I assume that's who
It's
he's
okay.
referring.
Yeah, Daryl's old. He can't type properly, so we hound him every week.
He's
Uh-huh.
also jealous he still can't grow one.
uh, Mike, did you have a question for CB, or did you have a story that you wanted to share? Because I know you have a few. So
There's stories. You know what? How about maybe a question? What was your favorite, probably favorite time period at the Palace when you were there?
Well,
Because you've seen a
all of
lot of
it.
coaches and dealers, and
I really didn't have any bigger favorite time. I did have some down times, or I was a little depressed, but mostly it was pretty good. I always enjoyed the company of all the people who were there, and I liked growing with the industry. Everything was challenging, new stuff coming in, and I don't mean just games, but politics and staff. There was always something going on, and if not, then we would get something going after work or on breaks.
yeah.
awesome. Okay, so yeah, one of the memories I do remember with you, Chris, was when we would just go to BP's after work. You were pretty damn good at pool, usually hustling all of us. I don't. I think we ended up playing like for $1 a game or something like that, which was pretty crazy. But I just remember not ever winning. So, but yeah, that was still fun for me. Like, cause we were all kids back then, and we were just like learn. But it was so cool to just like to have you there, and yeah, those are like some of my favorite memories when I was working with you. So
Yes,
I,
BP's was an era. I mean, there was Sherlock Holmes, there was Elephant and Castle, there was um, what was that, Pucks back at the old casino. We started back then. There was another Greek place downstairs. Uh, yeah, these watering holes were regular and many.
I remember for years placing the order double Ryan Coke, ice on the side,
Yeah,
and I never beat him at pool either, Jay. So
But do you remember, like, whoever was on, like, kind of like the last break at night, they'd have to phone over the order to
that's
VPs,
correct.
and it was like how many like pictures of like the team pictures, and then CB's order. Like everybody was like, just beer is fine. But we don't forget CB's order, and we'd have to make sure that like your CB's order was there.
Yes, well,
Yep.
when you're scheduling, it really helps you get the inside track because I always knew who was going over and who to put the order through with and make sure it was done.
they were awesome there. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean that's more than half of the good parts of the casino was the get-togethers. I mean, we had staff parties, we had all sorts of stuff that we'd attend, golf trips.
Oh
Yeah, those are good. Okay, a couple more people I want to say hi. Oh, but first, Daryl says his favorite time period was when Mike did not wear a tooth.
My hair's growing back, trying to fit in again.
To be honest, Mike looks like he raided the White House.
That's correct. He's
I'm
an
trying
insurgent.
to get my passport. We'll just...
Already the FBI is chasing down Mike.
Grant.
Got a high from a Grant Robinson there too.
Yeah. Hey, buddy. So cool to see you. Looking good as always. Awesome. I haven't
Yeah,
seen
he
Grant.
was always in on that CFL club that we had season tickets as well. We miss him dearly after a few years.
I didn't often go to like the CFL games, but I mean, I remember there was always like the ones I always used to see there was like, because you had those season tickets, were like you, Baba, Grant, and Steve. You know, like you had I would always know, like, okay, if I ever went there, always knew these guys were going to be there for sure.
Yes, we had tickets all together, and that was a great time. Steve and I started, and we also were the last ones there. But I gave up my tickets last year.
Oh wow! How long were you a season ticket holder for?
Since the old Clark Stadium, I can't remember what year. In '76, when was the Olympic, or not the Olympic Games, but the Commonwealth Games? The year before they built a
78?
stadium, my brother and I got tickets at Clark Stadium, and then we moved them into the new stadium.
Wow, that was like the 70s, right? Was that the 70s?
That's
that was
right.
Yeah.
And when I was a little kid in the '60s, I used to belong to the Noto
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
club for kids, and we used to sit in the end zone, and I could get a ticket for like 60 cents through Woodward's.
Woodward's. That's
Yeah.
hilarious. Here's another memory. Dragon Boats, great memory with CB. That's Nicola.
Oh yeah,
Hi, Nicola.
Dragon Boats was great.
Yeah.
We did it for several years, and then just phased out, I guess. We always had a good team, but we never won.
That was always fun. That was always fun.
And then also there was watering holes after training as well.
Yep.
Yeah, Ryan Coke for CB. Can't remember. That's Nicola as well. So
We used to go to karaoke at the old what was it called? Not the Edmonton Inn, on 100th Avenue and about 103rd, 104th Street.
that's awesome. Grant was talking about the golf week. Yeah, you are a major stable at the every golf tournament.
Every Father's Day,
that.
the week previous,
That's
we
cool.
would go to the mountains. It started out with a couple of coupon deals that you could get to golf at Grey Wolf, and you could stay for 2 days and golf for 1 day for a certain price. And a couple guys went up, and then we just added Trickle Creek to it, and then made it a whole week. And we got quite a turnout. I think one year we had up to 29 people.
Wow.
Oh, that's pretty good.
So I have no idea what it was like at home. I can with that many people gone.
Yeah, there had to be some people back home at work covering those
Yeah.
shifts. So those non-golfers.
So that was one of my favorite times, is those golf trips every year. Getting it together, getting the people out, and just hanging out for a week golfing.
Yeah, I love those. I love those. It was really good. I like what everyone's saying. The golf trips. I never went on the ski trip though, but that was one thing that I did miss because they were doing that in the 90s as well. But
I
yeah,
went on one ski trip, and halfway down the hill, my boots were loose, and my ski kept wandering on me, and I think I just took the rest of the time at the clubhouse after that, in the chalet.
all right. So John, you have another question?
No, I just think that like just listen to CB and the best parts I think of casinos was all the social parts. Like hanging out after work, doing other things, and just remembering stories. But one of the cool things that I remembered about CB was like it was so laid back, so like it was never flustered. Like whatever table, it was always kind of like stress free. And as a dealer, or as a pit boss, whatever. When CB was a manager, it was never like a stressful environment. Which it was always a lot of fun to work with you, and I remember that, and I do appreciate it when I was there. And I'm sure a lot of others too.
Well, for me, the credo was fun. I just enjoyed going to work. I enjoyed meeting all of you, all the other dealers, and working with them, and just make it a fun place to be. I mean, you got to be there 8 hours a day. It might as well make it enjoyable.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think working like I got to work with you as a manager as well, which is pretty awesome. One of the stories I remember was I was doing the scheduling. We were both pit managers at the time, and we didn't have Chronos set up, so I was doing a schedule, and it was just like on Excel. So it was a manual schedule. I spent like the whole day just trying to get it all organized, and then I went on break, and then I came back, and I was just like, what happened to my schedule? It got deleted. What's going on? And I was just like freaking out. I'm like, what happened? I'm like, and then someone just told me, it's like, I think CB was on the computer. And I was like, what? So I go, I'm like, CB, did you delete the schedule by accident? And you're like, no, maybe. Yeah.
I was never really computer savvy.
It's just, but it's like the no, maybe, yeah, I did. But it just made me laugh. I'm laughing now, but I remember that day I was just like, all right. I just stood up and I just went out. I was like, I'm gonna have a smoke.
Well, yeah, there's a few things. I remember Brian Epp was pretty mad at me one time when I switched some hours on him and he wasn't able to balance. And he was going nuts. And then when I fessed up to it, he was very steamed.
We have another hello. CB was the best. Oh, that's Nicola. Always awesome when he was on your shift. This is Lisa H. I get, what, we don't say the full names because you have to actually accept it on StreamYard. But Lisa H, hello. And she says, hope there's football this year. Maybe we can meet at halftime. So, and Sam says, agreed. Always a good, comfortable shift if CB was there. Johnny boy. Okay, sorry, one more. Roxanne says, love CB. Hello, Roxanne. Nice to see you.
Hi, everybody. Good hearing from everyone, too.
Yeah, you've got a lot of fans on. High, see, like you were high in demand, and like I said, I'm just glad that we had you on finally. So,
and we have stories with everyone. So, I mean, we could go on forever.
That's true.
What is your favorite story, Steves?
I don't know. There were so many. I enjoyed them all. Some of my favorite stories were when after work, there was a dealer who went out to get her car, and her car was not there, and just quite upset. This was late at night, no car, and she was in tears, and calling everyone, calling the police, reporting the car missing, and then finally, after about a half an hour of toiling and sweating, we found the car parked underneath, and then she recalled, oh yeah, that's where she parked to stay out of the snow.
That's hilarious. Oh, that's funny. All right.
Yeah.
So, Mike, did you have any more questions for CB?
Oh, I don't know about questions, but I remember speaking of the golf trips, I remember we went on a golf trip in 2006, and it was during the Oilers Cup run. And I don't know, CB, do you remember that?
Well, I remember many golf trips. I can't remember specifically the one with the Oilers going for the cup, but I can remember watching some games.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it just reminded me. You bringing it up reminded me of how good of a time it was, and how fun it was with everybody there, and just being in the mountains with everybody and having some fun
Oh
golfing.
yeah, rain or shine.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah, no, it was so.
All right. John?
I remember because the time that I worked there in the Palace Casino, I was pretty much always stuck in that one pit on the craps table, and I spent the entire time, like for the most part, at the end when I was only working day shifts, mostly working with like Brian and CB, and man, like it was so much fun. I used to have so much fun with like during the day. I mean, it was a great experience. I loved it. Um, so I just want to say thank you, Steve, because it really was a joy to work with you. It was so much fun. It could have been a lot worse. I mean, I've worked with tons of managers who were a nightmare, but like you and that people made it like more of an enjoyable day. And I think that's why a lot of people wanted to see how you're doing and to kind of like get on this chat and wanted you on it because you just like for the time we were there, you made it really fun for us anyway. Let's not say I'm not saying for the management. Some management people like, man, Steve's was a nightmare. I don't know, but he probably never. But I mean, some probably like, why is he always just out there having fun when I'm doing the work? But I mean,
Well, I enjoyed it. The work was not that hard. Once you do it over and over again, then that scheduling part was not so bad, and you got used to getting people out early, and it was fun. In fact, if there was nothing fun to do, we made up stuff. I remember there was another manager that was on, and we just decided, oh, there's a stain on her outfit, and we just pointed it out. And of course, the person couldn't see it, and it wasn't. But I had another manager point it out as well, so that it wasn't just me. Things of that nature.
that's awesome.
I mean, there's other stuff too.
A couple more comments here. Sorry. That's Gerald talking about Mike's double chin.
What, Gerald, what's yours? Quadruple? Come on.
Sorry. Sam's story.
I remember the first time I met Mike. It was at an adult club. This reminds me of another story.
I told this story last week with Nicola.
When we worked in the manager's office, we had a coat hook or a coat rack that we would hang our coats on. And for a while, I had a trench coat that was there for months and months. I must have forgot it after work. And I'm sure all the other managers were wondering whose coat it was. It probably went through the pockets. And later I found I had a picture, a revealing picture from one of those clubs in the pocket. I'm thinking that's probably why no one told me.
That's funny. Sorry. Okay, a couple more things. Here's a story from Sam. CB telling all the new dealers to go get shoe grease at security or the stockroom, or the right-handed shoes. Were you one of the notorious managers that started doing that, doing the shenanigans there at the palace? I think I
Oh yeah,
said that you
there
were
was
one of them.
lots of stuff. Whatever we could think of, we would go with. I used to come up in the middle of the baccarat table, where somebody would be dealing, and I'd whisper something ludicrous in their ear, just to throw them off their rhythm. And a credit to most of them, they didn't even break. But yes, some of them were pretty funny and outlandish.
Go, John.
In fact, you remember Paul W. I mean, if we're not mentioning last name, we had an AGLC inspector who got in on it, and we made up a story he had to handle, a complaint between some players in the poker room, and we brought that to this inspector's knowledge, and so he wanted to, we got him to talk to Paul, and I remember him very nervously reciting the whole incident to him before we let him in on the joke.
All right, couple more things here. There's one. Good times. That's Brian. Brian, that's Brian E. Again, if you guys want to have your names on, you just have to agree to the StreamYard rules, and then we can put you on. So, like this guy.
I remember Brian telling me one time he got his, like they used to give you like commemorative things at the palace, and they misspelled his name on a pen, and it was brain. I'm just gonna say it, whatever. It was Brain Epp as opposed to like Brian Epp. It just used to crack me up. I love Brian. He was so funny.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Here's another hello. Hi, Chris.
Hello, Howard.
I believe you two have worked together, yes?
Yes.
Okay, this is our young superstar, Danielle. She's saying hello. Sorry she dropped off the earth. That's okay. Yeah, Danielle works in Calgary. So for the new dealers, Chris, is there any advice that you'd like to give them? You've gone through a whole career in the industry. Are there any tips that you can kind of give to the new and upcoming dealers?
Well, the casino business is numbers. I mean, everybody needs to know their math and working out stuff. But the thing is to have fun and have confidence. Enjoy what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what you're doing and enjoy it.
Yeah. Oh, that's great advice. Okay. Oh, hello to you all from the desert. Oh, that's where you are.
Oh, Arizona.
Yeah, it's not as nice here.
We're enjoying the minus 30.
We just shoveled snow, so I'm pretty sure Howard's not doing that. Whatever he is.
Enjoy the course.
Nicholas says, I won more posters than Mike. I don't know about that because I just remember when I first went to Mike's place, I think this was after our training, I was just like, Mike, what are those? He had like 2 garbage bags. And he's like, oh, here. He like went in, just opened them up, and then he just like threw them all on the floor. And it was just all like posters and magnets and lighters. It's like, wow. And so that's why they know your name there, hey?
I did have good aim, but yeah, I am pretty sure Nicola destroyed me in getting all the goodies you get from those types of establishments.
Oh, that's funny. Okay. CB, I just have a couple questions. There's a couple pictures here. First off, is that you?
I believe it is.
Okay. I love those glasses. Do you still have those, or is that just
No, those were the olden days when we first started.
So it seems, when was that?
That would have been 80s.
wow?
I was gonna say you look like an extra on Scarface.
I think this picture is probably from the Legion, probably a cribbage tournament or darts.
Oh, that's cool. Go ahead, John.
No, I was just gonna say, like, it sounds like, oh, cribbage or darts. I'm like, you look like you took cribbage and darts to like a different party level.
No,
I was
no,
like,
we enjoyed
really?
everything.
So okay, sorry. Speaking of that, because I remember darts, but after you worked in the casino, I remember you working with Kevin. Were you were bartending at some point, weren't you?
That's correct. I was bartending at his bar. I did a little bit of cooking as well. I was in the kitchen. Little handyman did a little bit of everything.
That's
Those were
awesome.
good days too.
Yeah, I love that. I love that guy. He was pretty awesome. He let me install his security system there, which I knew nothing about, and I've never done that before. But hey, now I can say that I've finally done that. But that, and he let me DJ. He let me DJ a party there, and it's the first time that I like started to appreciate '70s music because that was the content. So that was really cool. I miss that bar. It was really cool. The Pearl, man,
Yeah,
pretty
we
awesome.
had a lot of fun there. After hours, we'd play pool into the night. I enjoyed golfing with Kevin all the time. He
Oh,
would
that's
come up to all the golf trips. He was a
See,
good
see, I just want to say something. I've kind of noticed a trend. Like every job you had, you're like, and then we partied, and then we golfed. I mean, like, it seems like work interrupted you, like you're partying. So,
Well, that's my credo is to have fun in life, enjoy myself as much as possible, and enjoy everybody with me.
yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
oh, you for sure did.
Okay, a couple comments. Daryl CB was the best guy, other than Jay Lee, John, and Mike. Why? He's sucking up now. What's going on here? Okay,
From Daryl. You're awesome, Daryl.
we have a new hello. Okay, we have a new hello here. This is ML. ML says, "Hi, CB. Long time no see."
Yes, how are you?
Yeah, I love
Nice
ML.
to hear from all of you.
Okay, Roxanne says, I remember CB did a hire interview, ended up having to figure out one roulette payout and just talking about anything but casino. Easiest interview I ever had. I also want to say not only CB, but Jaylee and Mike working as PMs or GM also made for. Oh, thank you. That's really cool. That's sweet. I was a jerk back then, man. But
You still are. Sorry. Meant to hit me.
No, I really have to say it was one of the best times of my life. I like to enjoy whatever I did, and my time at the casinos was great. And it was because of everyone, all the Roxannes and Mikes and Johns and
yeah,
Daryls and what have you.
I think, Jaylee mentioned earlier, like this is like the 25th time we've done this. Like so literally it's like 6 months we've been doing it, really. There's like a common thread that goes through all this stuff that we've talked to the really cool people, and it's all like, yeah, the industry is good and you deal whatever, but it's the people in it that make us want to stay and make us want to come back and make us want to like today. Everybody wanted to talk to and say, "Oh, Seed, man, we want to talk to CB and see how he's doing," because he was so cool and so awesome, and he made the work so much fun. I mean, like, so yeah, man, this is yeah. I'm surprised, to be honest. It's gone on for 6 months, and that we found so
Absolutely.
people like, but yeah, Chiefs. Everybody wanted to talk to you and see how
I'm
well you do.
very pleased. It was a big family. I mean, and there was a lot of families, the Worrells, the Farians, even the Burks. I mean, I had a couple girls work there, the Kims, the Lees. There's so many Nguyen's, lots of families. If I've missed any, my apologies, but it was like an extended family. You got to see everybody grow up. Some people came in as young teens and grew up, got married, had kids, and made large investments, bought houses. It was very interesting to be part of that and to see it happen.
No, I agree. Yeah.
See, can I ask one question before? I mean, I don't, because I know Mikey's on here not very long, because he has to work and he does a great job. Steve, what is your number? Do you remember it?
700.
Joe remembers it. Look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Joe.
I started back in the day before we had numbers, and my number is actually pretty high compared to what it could have been had I applied for it earlier. But I didn't know whether I was going to stay in the casino business when they started licensing everyone at that time. So I was a little slow in the application, but I still ended up with an easy number to remember.
Yeah. Lucky. That's cool.
Yeah.
I think you're the, well, I don't remember Wyatt's number. I don't know who has the lower number, but yeah, you're one of the lowest for sure. So
Well, it would be like people like Pat Palin, Doreen Tarnowski, Norm Delitsoy, people that were there that started when I did or before. It
that's
would have
cool.
been Wyatt's auntie that I worked with back in the 70s.
That's cool.
Gita had a pretty low number too.
Yeah. On that note, I did hear that she did pass away. So the channel's condolences to Gita and her family at a time like this. So yeah, she was someone that was original in the '80s, and she had a lot of people that did say their condolences and goodbyes on Facebook. So I did see that, and well respected in the industry, and she had a great career. CB, what do you remember about Gita?
Well, she was always one of the originals back in the old days, scheduling and taking care of things. She was always had a good head on her shoulders in keeping things in line. I didn't work a lot with her, but I did work back in the old days.
Mhm. Yeah. So no, thanks, CB. If there are any of you on the channel that do have some memories of Gita, yeah, please share them in the comments, and it would be great, and we can share them here on the channel for this episode. So, yeah, Joe says looking good, Mr. Burke, and
Thank you, Joe.
Warren, hello, Warren.
Hi, Warren. Yes.
Warren's on there.
Good to see you, my friend. And Sam says she never got her damn pen set.
Oh no.
Well, it was CB. What was one of the favorite casino gifts that you received from the company?
Well, my personal favorite was the multiple game set, chess, backgammon,
Great.
dominoes. That was my favorite. But I still have some sweaters and such from those days. My pen never lasted very long, or my watch.
You still have the slippers though.
Oh, the slippers.
Oh yeah. And I did have a golf jacket that I really loved earlier. It wasn't a gift; I had to pay for it, but that went down the line.
I
Disappeared.
I still have Seeds. I still have that game set. Like I thought it was really cool. I really liked that. Like the it was like the kind of like the chessboard, and you could take it off, and those like the competing of games stuff. Actually,
Yeah.
my kids now have used it too.
I have my grandkids using mine.
You're a little bit older than I am. Smidgen, just a smidgen.
I know I have mine somewhere, but I can't find it. I can't find it for the life of
I
me.
still have an original Palace Casino golf cap too.
Ooh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Lisa says she still has the $2 chip keychain. Ooh, I'd love
excellent.
I'd love to see a photo of that because I don't think I was around when they gave that away. I do remember. Do you remember like the green? Sorry, it was a black jacket with like the green leather sleeves
Yes.
and black. That was my
Our whole
favorite.
family ascribed to those. Mine was black with red sleeves
Oh, yeah.
with the Palace Casino emblazoned on the back.
Those were nice jackets.
I didn't mind them. They were nice and warm. So.
I have one of those, the vests, kind of like the pleated vests.
Yes.
That says Palace Casino on the back. I still have one of them. I used to wear it like walking my dog, and now everyone's like, if they ever see it, they'll be like, "What's the Palace Casino?" Because now it's gone. It's a different name.
Howard says he still has the casino golf vest.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Howard was fun to watch on a golf course. He was always on his phone.
Since we're talking about the palace, could you tell us what is this? Was that from the palace? I believe it was.
My eyes aren't that good, but that's a money wheel. Appears to be.
Mm.
Or is that Crown and Anchor?
No, I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out which casino this was from. Was it from the first one or the second one? Oh, I see the roulette tables there, right? They look. I remember those getting moved to the new one because I remember the wood, and I still remember those tables. But I think that was from the one by the ice rink. I wasn't old enough to actually be in there, so
Yes, actually, that first table there was an incident at the old casino where a woman passed out on the floor there, and while the ambulance was coming, there was people stepping over her trying to place bets.
Oh my god!
You gotta love gamblers, eh? I mean, like they're so
yeah.
heartfelt and considerate about the other humans that they're around. That they're like,
Absolutely, they had to get their bets in.
Oh my goodness!
But back then, we had a few people keel over.
I remember the first time when I came to the Palace Casino. I think it was the Palace we had there, where like the covers on the roulette wheels.
Yeah,
it was one of the few places I ever worked that had them on there. Like most other places I ever worked, they never had that big plastic thing on top of the wheel. They used to take it off when we opened, and we'd spin. Maybe because they spun both ways. I don't know, but it was the first time I saw it. When I came, I was like, "Why does it sit there all the time?"
I think more for safety than for anything else.
So, Siebes, because you've been in the business for quite a long time, when they had roulette, why? And this is a question I've asked lots of people, and they don't know. Well, they may not know. I'm not sure. Why did they spin it just the one way? The ball, like on roulette.
I think because it was easier that way, and it was just maintained. It was just whoever first implemented it just kept it that way. I've been to lots of places where they spin it both ways, but we weren't that technical.
It just made sense, right? It's just easier to do it this way and get proficient doing it. Like, why change? Why change what's not broken, eh?
Yeah, that's right.
Well, John's beef was that this is the only place that's only gone the one way.
No, no. Well, Steve, I'll tell you this is my first. Like, I remember my first shift when I worked in the Palace. So I went in there and I told them what I dealt beforehand, obviously. And they said, "Okay, John, you're on roulette today." I was like, "Okay." And I remember there was only a couple of roulettes, and I went on it and I spent half the day, and nobody told me spinning the ball one way and then the other way,
Spinning at the other.
alternate. Yeah, I know. And I got half the shift. And then the pit boss, I'm not going to say her name, came up to me and she said, "Oh my God, what are you doing?" I was like, "I'm about to spin the ball." She goes, "But you're going to spin it the same way as the wheel." I was like, "No, I'm not. The wheel's going the other way." And she's like, "You can't do that." I was like, "Okay, why didn't somebody tell me that 4 hours ago? Because I've been doing it for 4 hours." And she's like, "Okay, just don't do it anymore." Not even the players, nobody. I was like, "All right, okay, this is strange."
Well, and it's actually better to have a different rhythm. A lot of players will watch the rhythm, especially when it's going one way, and a dealer is late in the shift. Then everything is a little more predictable. If you spin it the opposite way, then it's less predictable, I'm sure. But there was
I
always rules. Sometimes you wonder why we have them. Sometimes it's just for security reasons for the cameras.
Mhm. That's cool.
Saves one question. So,
Yeah.
what was it like having to be um, going to work and to being this like the pit boss, the manager, whatever, to your daughter?
Um, I don't know. I don't think I treated her any different. My expectations were the same, if not more. Um, it was um, not a regular occurrence, but there were times where I had to be in her section. By the time she started, I think I was already a pit manager, so I didn't get to be a pit boss with her. But I did again with my sister, and I like to say that I was no different with her than I was with anyone else.
Yeah, yeah. I think everybody. Well, we all work with you, and I think you were pretty fair. And by the way, Candice was awesome. Just as a
Terrific.
side note, but I remember when I kind of like a few times when I met my wife on ships, and whenever I was kind of like her boss, she would just be like, "Nope." If I ever asked her to do anything, she's like, "Nope, not gonna do it." So and ultimately, I was like, where's she gonna go? I'll just go in the other pit. It was easier.
Yeah. Well, it's always nice to be a supervisor because then uh, whoever it is that has to listen to you, I could get away with a lot of stuff. Um, you know, I like to use the Star Trek references and go a lot easier.
That's funny. Um, so CB, with you mentioned that you had your daughters work in the industry. For people now, would this be something that you would recommend? Because my boy's 5, but when he's 18, do you think that it's a job that you would recommend now, or was it better before? What are your opinions on that?
Well, as far as I know, I don't know what it's like now to be a dealer, but it was always fun for me. I always enjoyed the job. I enjoyed dealing. I enjoyed talking to people, staff or customers. And I think for a part time job, it's great. For a full time job, it's not bad, but it has its advantages. If you're very interested, you can move up and do different things within the industry. It opens up a lot of channels as well.
Hmm. Well, that's good.
With money, you can um, go into different fields. like banking and such.
Yeah. No, yeah, I agree. I think I did mention that before, but there's a lot of different avenues that can take, not just in the point of view of a dealer, but I've seen a lot of employees move to other departments, especially like surveillance going into like RCMP or EPS. That's pretty cool that you can have that option in the casino industry.
Absolutely, and food and beverage. I mean,
Mhm.
entertainment is suffering right now, but it's a large industry.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
I
Um,
think going to the ships and other casinos is something great too. A person can move around across the country with that skill.
yeah, no, for sure, for sure. Oh, look at this. Cindy says hello.
Hi,
Hello.
Cindy.
Nice having you on. Okay. I don't know who said this, but
It was Kevin Spriggs.
oh, Kevin. Okay, awesome. Hello, Kevin says hello. You're looking fantastic.
Hi.
Awesome. Okay, sorry, John. Before you go on, I know Mike. Yeah, you have to work pretty early. So, any final comments for Chris? Any? Well, I don't know how much you guys talk still, but
Well, what can I say? John went and floated a whole bunch of sunshine your way a little earlier, and I think he undersold UCB. You were the best. You're the best manager, one of the best friends, one of the best people the industry has ever seen. Not just in Edmonton, but all around the world from where I've worked. It was it was great working with you from our times throwing loonies to our times hitting balls. Um,
Hmm.
just the banter and the endless trivia nights over at BP's and everything. It was so awesome.
Well, thanks, Mike. I appreciate that. I like to say that I enjoyed myself, and I'm hoping that everybody who was working with me did it as well.
I,
It was
I,
always all about fun, enjoying your work.
yeah,
Can I? Sorry, I want to just jump in because Mikey's going to go, but I just want to add to that. Um, the managers and the people that like now who work with you base how they work on how you were as a manager. Like you were like a founding, your experience and whatever was huge, but how you were as a manager shaped how these like Jay Lee and Mike and hundreds of other managers, people who became managers, it shaped how they became managers and how they treated staff.
oh, that's true.
So I don't want to, anyone to underestimate how much you changed the casinos in Alberta because everybody moved, right, and everybody changed, and you were. That's why a lot of people wanted you on here, Seems, is because you were like a fundamental person in industry. You think you maybe only worked in this and affected a small amount of people, but you literally changed how people, like how Mike wanted to be as a manager and and Jay, right, and countless others, right. So you made a dramatic impact to casinos in Alberta, and you should be proud of it, right. And everybody else should be proud of it too, about how you were.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally
Well, that's
agree.
very nice of you to say. I'm very humbled by that. I did enjoy myself. I tried to uh, make everybody else enjoy their time there as well. And again, I reiterate, it was working with all of you guys that made it fun. Um, I did get pulled aside once by a manager and spoken to, and actually advised that perhaps I was a little too close to the staff, and it might be of a hindrance if I had to let somebody go. But I'm glad I didn't really change that much and was still close to the staff.
Yeah,
It wasn't just a workplace situation. We enjoyed lots of spare time, lots of different adventures, activities, um, right from the get-go, card tournaments and chess, backgammon tournaments, everything. I think that really helped unify the staff and make it a better workplace as well.
Yep.
For sure.
Okay, Mike. Well, thank you again. Again, for the people that don't know, Mike has this pretty important job at the U of A hospital. He gets to work with a lot of upset people at times, but you're definitely one of the good people, one of the good quarterbacks there. So keep doing what you're doing. You're doing great.
Thanks for making me blush.
Well,
Yeah,
okay.
Thanks, Mike. It was a slight.
No, you know what? I am so glad, and I want to miss this to the world. CB, until next time, say hi to Deb and the family and everybody. Everybody
You
else,
too.
John, Jay, take care.
Okay.
Everybody out there,
Big
except
hi
for
to
Deb,
Ed Stewart.
have a good night.
Good night.
Okay.
take care, Mike. Stay away from Palmer Hill.
Yeah.
All right.
Right. See you guys.
Bye. Awesome. Cindy says what Mike said and what John said. Yeah, CB. I mean, you're such an influence. It was awesome to work with you in the capacity of, just being under you and then just working with you as a manager was pretty awesome. So, you definitely shaped. I know Mike as well, but you shaped kind of the way that like my career path ended up going and. Yeah, I mean, I love getting the advice from you. It was awesome, and it helped me way in the future when I was a manager again at Argyle. So it's it is about the people, right? And it's about having a good environment for them. It's not just about like I know like your managers above you are sweating about the numbers and everything else, and there's that pressure, but you have to kind of have that environment for your staff and protect them. So
Absolutely. I think if you have fun of what you do it better. You can't sit there worried about making mistakes all the time. I think a lot of new pit bosses were a little nervous or made dealers nervous because they're always wanted to rationalize their job by catching mistakes. But sometimes it just makes things worse.
for sure. Just sorry, quick comment from Roxanne. I watch this show because of people like CB who made work fun, and the show reminds me and brings up memories of why work was fun and why it was family. CB is a pillar of the community, and why I still miss it because of people like him. Look at that. That's amazing. Look at how big of a fingerprint that you have on the industry, and what you've done over your career. It still resonates with a lot of us. So I think it's pretty awesome what you've done, and it even now, like it's so nice to have you in here, and you're still just the knowledge that you have. It's really cool to have that put onto our channel, and kind of show it for not just Casino Industry Canada, but also for for the YouTube channel as well. So.
Well, I'm very glad to hear that. I must admit, I didn't do that intentionally as some kind of system. It's just me. I just enjoy being with people, talking to people, doing stuff. It was just a great time.
Absolutely.
But I think for those seeds, right? Like one of the things, like it was like the experience working with you. I mean, I worked with you for 5 years, whatever. But it was like, okay, how we work with you together and how you treated people, everybody, like while we were in work, and how much fun you were with like out of work. And it was a lot of us, I mean, I left casinos 15 years ago. Actually almost 16 years ago. And I've been like, from like now saying like, man, this is what managers were doing like yourself 16 years ago. People you should do this like now in different industries, how they should engage with their employees and make sure the employees are like want to do their job. I mean, you were doing this stuff like when I knew you 16 years ago. It's crazy. Like you like everybody saying like how awesome you were, and you were so far ahead of a lot of people, and you've changed a lot of people's lives, to be honest. I mean, I don't want to be like cheesy, but it's how we review how to be a manager in whatever industry we are in now, right? Like I'm not in casinos anymore, and nor was Mike, or nor was Jay Lee. But we've now fundamentally changed like how we work, right? So you should be really proud of what you've done.
That's good, but it's just the people, just getting them to be themselves and do what they're capable of is what I'm after. That's all. I didn't do it intentionally. I just found it a lot easier. If they were at ease, I was at ease. There would be less mistakes, um, a lot more fun, and time went by. It was just great watching these people grow, and you could see it with many of them, their whole lives coming in cold, learning the game, meeting other people, again raising families.
For sure. Okay. Sorry, one quick photo here. Look at that. I have a photo of you in action. Look at that.
That's right, hard at work.
No, I think that's you deleting. That's you deleting my schedule. So
Maybe.
just kidding. So CB, guess what? I have a special guest for you here, and someone wants to say hi. So let me just add him to the stream right now.
Isn't it past your bedtime, you old fart?
Yes, it is. I don't usually stay up this late.
Yeah, you don't usually stay up this late. You never did stay up this late even when you were working.
Oh,
Yeah, well, I had to get some sleep sometime.
Yeah.
so we have Wyatt on. Welcome, Wyatt. Welcome once again. Your second time on the show. Wyatt, what are your memories of Chris?
Oh, man. This guy was such a treat to work with. That guy. Lots of great memories of working with Chris. Like, he was so much fun to be around. He just made the day go by so much faster. And I always appreciated it when he was on.
Oh, that's awesome.
You remember me, Chris?
Oh, yeah, it was good working with you. I enjoyed it. But I didn't get golf clubs when I left.
Oh, you know what? Those golf clubs got stolen.
Oh, no.
Yeah, somebody stole them from Millwood's golf course.
Ouch.
You sure it wasn't you? If you were envious of the golf clubs?
I used pings.
Oh, well, these were tailor-mades.
Yeah. We never did golf very much together.
No, well, we're going to have to do that this summer because we're going to try and arrange some kind of little golf tournament for all the casino employees, I think.
I think so. I think back when you were managing, I didn't even golf then.
Yeah? So you're going to give me strokes then, are you?
I don't think so.
I think you should. Let's see, maybe 5 or 6 aside.
I think the experienced guy is the one who gives up the strokes.
Well, the experienced guys think of ways to get strokes from everybody else.
So my question for both of you: when did you work together? I know that I saw the two of you together at the Palace when I started. That was like '98. But how far back did the two of you go?
I think Chris started in 1990, didn't you, Chris?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, you were one of the first people there.
I was about a month or two behind the grand opening, but I was there first year.
Yeah, and I left in
Brenda were running the show.
I left in '99, so.
No.
I left 10 years later.
Yeah, 10 years. I lasted 10 years, but not as long as people like Brenda, who lasted a lot longer than I did.
Yes, the good old days.
The good old days.
Early days.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun back then. It was quite a different place. Like you remember the original location of the Palace Casino. So it was much smaller, very strange location, but and we moved over to the west side.
Yeah.
Yeah, much bigger, much bigger. And now it's like 3 times or 4 times the size of even. But all good. How many grandkids you got now, Chris? You told me the other day.
I have 9.
9 grandkids. And you have a great grandchild too, don't you?
No, not yet.
Not yet. Getting
I'm
close?
waiting.
You're waiting.
I have 5 granddaughters.
Wow.
None of them have made me a great grandfather yet.
So Chris, talking about your granddaughters, have any of them gone into casinos, like to be like the 3rd generation of casinos?
No, not. I don't even think any of them have entered the casino. My oldest granddaughter is 27, so there is space, but I wouldn't mind it. I think it was a great place. I mean, Jay Lee had a brother there. There's lots of families
Yeah.
that get together, and
Yeah, it's kind of been a multi-dimensional or multi-generational kind of industry.
yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like we've talked about this a lot from like the last 6 months. It's like, I think I really like, obviously we all like casinos, but I love the fact that it can help you in no matter, in different scenarios. Like if you're going to school, you're going to university, you work part-time, or if you're a parent with kids, you can work different hours, and the flexibility of it.
Absolutely.
I don't know if that like all the other casinos I worked in, I worked in 19 years in casinos. Most of the other places I ever worked was always full-time. They never had that flexibility until I came to Edmonton, right? I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. The fact that you can do this and you can change the hours you're available, and it was always available shifts, right? That you could come in and you're like, okay, I just want a deal, and people like. So I think, to be honest, I think it's a great casino, like a great opportunity to work and to create life skills too.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I would agree too. Yeah, it was really nice seeing like some of the kids of people that I worked with in the 70s and 80s come through the casinos. We'll get a chance to work with them and their parents at the same time.
Yeah. Is there something, so a question for all 3 of you, I guess, but is there something that you would want to change that you would see now, but that you're assuming isn't happening now that was happening before? Something that was better back then?
I think we did a lot more things together back then. Like now it's like people just work and they go home now. They don't really socialize with each other as much.
Mm-hmm.
Particularly with different departments.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, if you were in the slot department, you didn't get to talk to the table games people. If you were in security and surveillance, you weren't allowed to talk to any of the table games people.
Yeah.
Personally, I think the worst thing that happened was when they changed the hours. So we didn't have. I loved, to be honest, that like 1 hour window when we used to go over BPs after work.
Yes, exactly.
That it was like, okay, we go and we had the ability to socialize and drink, play pool, and act like a normal person. Because realistically, nobody in a regular job goes home after work and goes to bed.
No.
So why are we inflicted? And I've been bitching about this for years. Like when I was in casinos, like why do we have to do the same thing, right? Why would you have to, because how you work, and it's like that 1 hour. I loved it because you could socialize with people, and all like when we used to go. Yeah, that was the thing that I hated when they changed that, and then you weren't allowed that flexibility to socialize with, phone in CB's order and get, and get the team pictures and that, and then go over and as a group that night to unwind and have a good time, right? Yeah. I think that is shitty that we don't have that no more.
Well, you know what? I recollect an incident off of a day shift when after a day shift, a bunch of us went over to Pucks, and 5-10 minutes later, a supervisor came over and was short-staffed, I wanted to grab whoever hadn't ordered a drink yet and take them back to work. So, I mean, it had its benefits that way too.
Yeah.
Did you go back, Chris?
No, of course not.
Yeah, I can't see anybody giving up their drink to go back to work. And
Yeah. No, there was still filing in. Some people went.
So
But I used to wait for that Miller time.
Miller time, yes. Yeah, and that's kind of universal. That was like right from even from the 70s. Like after work, somebody would go over and order a bunch of drinks for the people that were still working till even midnight, and we'd sit around and have a few brewskis after work. Then we'd find some after hours club and go there for a while. And then we'd end up at somebody's house for a party.
Oh, the poker parties.
But it just doesn't happen anymore. At least I don't think it does.
Well, I can recall a couple road trips where we didn't get any sleep for the whole weekend.
Yeah. Gee, I was at a few of those, I think.
Yeah.
Babysitting people that left the bathtub on and flooded the Grand Prairie Hotel out.
that's pretty funny.
Quite accidentally, of course.
Yes.
And the hotel threatening to kick us all out.
Oh my goodness. So, yeah, I think just back to the point about things that you could change. I miss those hours, because for me, I can't do two jobs. Like with the job that I have now, you were able to do like a 7 to 2 back then, and now you can't. I can't do a 7 to 2 and a 9 to 5. So it's been pretty difficult for me.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, they don't cater to like even a swing shift where you could even go to school now and still go work in the casino.
Yeah.
It's very difficult.
There was lots of students and
Yes.
part-timers that really made the system work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know when I first started, I went through university working in the casino, because work from like 6. We had 6-hour shifts, 6 to midnight, and that was a great part-time job for someone going to university.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I think that's something that's it's something so different now that a lot of students, that's why we don't get a lot of students coming in anymore. Just the fact that they can't, for me, I could go to university and work my night shift. I mean, it was pressing it a little bit, but even now with the hours, it's pretty tough to try to manage that. Especially even if you make your own schedule, just until 3 a.m, it gets really tough to manage. And that's kind of changed the industry altogether. Not just that. I mean, here in Edmonton, that there's this oversaturation of casinos, and we're just not. We don't have the pull that we used to. The pay isn't the same when you're trying to compare it to other industries now. There's just there's this parity between it. So yeah. So yeah, you know what? I don't know why, but on this channel, there's always 3 bald guys. Now there's 4.
Yes.
So this is definitely a record. I don't know. There's no discrimination to hair here. This is just what happens when John and I start booking people. Yeah.
One bald guy's left us to go do something.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. He'll be back. But,
I know he'll be back.
So is there? So the question for both of you: What do you miss about the industry? I know it's been a while since you've both been kind of involved with the casino, but we've kind of talked about the people and whatnot. But is there anything else that would, I said this last week in our show. Is there something that would bring you back? Something that you would love and be like, yes, this would be something that would make me at least think about coming back to the industry.
Go ahead, Chris.
Well, I think I undoubtedly the camaraderie is number one. I mean, and I've always been within walking distance, so that convenience is also there too for me. Um, I just enjoyed the ambience. I like playing cards. I like being around gambling. I think the whole industry is not really flashy for me, but I enjoyed it.
Mhm.
Yeah, I enjoy the staff and the patrons too. Like I've met a lot of really good people in the casino industry. Like some of the suppliers were great. Some of the patrons were lots of fun to be around. And but I do miss the people. I really do miss the people. I did, and the atmosphere, like Chris says. Like it was just so much fun to be around. But yeah. In 96 when the government brought in slot machines, the whole atmosphere in casinos changed. All about the slot revenue.
Yeah.
And the table games kind of just got pushed into the side, and now I don't think there's even a casino around that has 30 table games anymore.
No, you're correct. Yeah. Maybe there is, but we don't have that. We don't have them all open at the same time.
No.
I think we're just not at that level here anymore. So
No, and that is due to the oversaturation too, like Chris said. Like, there's in Calgary here there was 3 casinos within 5 blocks of each other there at one time. They're pretty close to each other, within 3 kilometers of each other.
That's correct. For such a small population size.
Yeah. And we just tend to have local players. We don't have the tourists like someplace like Vegas does. So we've got to rely on local players. And there's just not enough of them. And you get people banned at one casino that go across the street or down the road to another casino and piss the staff off there, and then plead to come back into the other place.
And overall, there is a limited amount of money, I guess, or whatever. You can tell when fluctuation comes and goes.
Yeah, we could be like the Gong Show happening in BC with the casinos out there. That's pretty scary. CEOs going to the Yukon to get COVID shots. Gangs running the casinos in the background, extorting money, laundering money.
But I brought this up before, as we're talking about casinos. I think because every casino in Edmonton is kind of like it's like cookie cutter, right? They all offer the same games, same, pretty much the same minimum, the same. At some point, somebody's going to have to turn around and go, okay, we need to make something that's a niche, and go, okay, this is, maybe we want just high limits, and just, okay, let's not have 30 tables open, or like you said, this will be a high limit table. We'll cater for a specific niche, because you can't be all things for everybody, I think, in Edmonton, right?
The terms and conditions of the AGLC really rule what we can do in the casino, though. They're not really open to change of anything, though, because they don't like change, because they don't understand it. The last time I was on, I told you about the AGLC is run by ex-cops, really. All the investigators are all ex-cops, and they don't understand gaming, so the only way they can understand it is by regulating it, putting rules and restrictions on it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's one of the biggest challenges, is when you take people with gaming experience out of the whole control of gaming, because then they don't understand it. It's like having accountants running casinos. It's like, you've never worked in it. All you're seeing is like, okay, this is my expense, blah 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 blah. But that doesn't. You can't control experience in a casino if you're from an accountant's point of view, right?
Do we buy a deck of cards for $1.50 or one for 10 cents?
And do you know what? And really enough, talking about that, just on the weekend, Jay Lee I was on there talking about this, by the way, Jay Lee is awesome for what he does for this game account in Edmonton. He just has some huge kudos, right? For doing what he does, right? But one thing he did, just talking about that, he was doing this pie out thing on the weekend, right? And he had these new tiles, and they were higher. They were wider than regular pie out tiles. But from a perspective of dealing, they were shitty. But if you were an accountant, you'd be like, oh, these like $1.50 cheaper.
Yeah.
We'll buy these. So you wouldn't know that they're shit to deal with, and the experience is bad. It's slow down, whatever. You're just looking at it as like, oh, I just dropped the cost of equipment by X amount of dollars, right? So sometimes I think they don't look at that, right?
Yeah, and it even comes to the staff. Do you hire somebody for, let's just say, $15 an hour, or do you hire somebody that's much better for $19 an hour? It just comes down to like a budget constraint. Do we hire the $15 person and put up with it, even though they're a crappy dealer?
John, I know you have a lot to say about that. It's like,
I know, he's cringing here. He wants to come and.
No, to be honest, when I first, and I've been like spouting this thing, and it's probably maybe some people disagree, maybe they do, they don't. I think casino people are highly undervalued, as in like how much they pay, right? Not just in Edmonton, everywhere. And when I first came to Edmonton and I joined the Palace Casino, and literally when I first started there was not long after, it was not because of me, but there was like an exodus of people going on the ships. And I remember talking to management, and I was like, man, you're losing like millions of dollars of experience like every year. Why aren't they doing anything to stop this? And pretty much a lot of people said to me, they don't care. They'll just go to KD's and hire somebody else and just bring them in. But I'm like, it takes you a couple of years to get up to that point again of the guy who just walked out the door and the revenue that guy makes. And it's like,
yeah, we lost so many people to Casino de Montreal and to the casinos in Ontario that I just adored some of the people, like Tara Tarnowski. Like, she was just fabulous, and she ended up moving off to Ontario. And some of the people were saying, oh, I'm going to make, $70,000 a year in Ontario doing the same thing. Well, the taxes are probably 3 times as much out there. So they ended up making less. But, when you're young and you got a chance to move on, like, that's the greatest thing they can do is move on. But you're right. You lose that talent, and it shows on your gaming floor. Anyway, I should leave you because this is Chris's night. He's supposed to be talking to you guys. So I'm gonna bow out and let Chris continue on, and I'll listen in the background. Nice talking to you, Chris. We got to get that golf game in this year.
Definitely. I've never played golf at all last year. I had a stroke in 2019, so
we'll get you out. We'll ease you back into it.
Yeah.
You can hold the birdie juice. Just don't drink it all.
I just had to bring my Coke bottle with me.
Okay, anyway, I'm going to listen to the background. You guys have a good night.
Thanks for being on.
Cheers.
Good night, Wyatt.
Cheers.
All right.
Yeah, I think that's a problem with a lot of industries is trying to keep your experienced people. People get knowledgeable about the industry and they move on.
Yeah. Oh boy, really. Yeah. I always have a lot to say about that. Just seeing the whole evolution from like when we were there and when we ended up, like working together and just. I mentioned the schedule as a joke, but it was kind of funny because like when I was doing the scheduling, it got to a point where it's like there was this oversaturation. We were short-staffed. We'd hire anybody at some point. It was crazy. Never thought that would ever happen in our industry because we didn't have not like McDonald's, right? It's like, always hiring.
It did go through its cycles.
Yeah.
Originally, there was a lot of people, a lot of experienced people that weren't getting on full time yet, and you had to wait. You had to earn your oats, and then it became a time where you'd hire anybody. and that was a tough time. But I think you still don't sell people short. There was a lot of talent that came through, even
Mhm.
through the growing pains.
Yeah.
People who stayed, people who picked it up.
For sure. Good night,
Good night,
Howard.
Howard.
Good night, Howard.
Yeah, I like honestly that was a really tough time. Just to see that, and we talked about like the skill level and like loving the game and loving to deal, and I think a lot of that did get lost with just the fact that there were a lot of there were a lot of options that you had. So did you really care if I got like fired from this place? I could just go to the next one. Roxanne mentions, yeah, Palace lost so many experienced dealers to Century and Enoch when it opened. Yeah, I mean like there was a strike that happened. The strike, when the strike was over, there was like two more casinos, and it was crazy just to see like that many casinos in the city, and like we didn't have enough staff at any point. It just got really tough, and I miss the whole you know people like loving the art of the game, and I think that's lost now. There's still some great dealers, but I just don't think we have as many people that are invested into like how to deal and what they loved about it. It's more about just coming in, and I mean, like I feel a little jaded coming back, but yeah, it's definitely not the same. There's some good dealers there, but it just wasn't like how it was before. So
Yeah, well, I disagree. It's somewhat. I still think when everybody was new, they were new, and it depends on how you bring them through. If they like the game, they'll be better at it.
Mhm.
Everybody is different. You just gotta reach their potential. You
That's
have to
true.
be interested in it.
That's true. But before John talks, I want to say I've never seen anyone deal comparable to John, and why? So like, tell me why. How come nobody is pushing themselves to that level? And someone similar, like I've seen good dealers, but I've not seen someone like John or like Tony or or like Kong in ABS or Kevin when he was at Baccarat. And I hate like saying that because I love the people that I like still do work with, but they can be so much better. Right? So how do you unlock their potential? That's my question. Anyway,
I
sorry,
think
John. Yeah.
I think you let them be themselves and grow into it themselves. A lot of people learn differently, and a lot of people have uh, get more experience sooner by just um, doing it more repetition. And so the longer you do it, the better you get. And John's been in the business for many years. But yes, I'd like to say that I have seen a lot of people come in that were green and just amaze me with their hand skills and their speed and their acumen. People that I might not even have considered to be that good when they started.
Go ahead.
Chris, this is a question I had. Not so much about this isn't about dealing. Like we've all mentioned about like how great you were as a manager. So what advice would you give to somebody who's about to go into that like that shift from being like a pit boss or whatever, to becoming like a manager, like a pit manager? Because like you were great with all of us as we've all everybody's mentioned that. What advice would you give to somebody who's about to do that transition?
Well, I think you have to be careful with your expectation. Not everybody is, like we said, perfect or gets everything as smoothly as some people do. You have to be a little more patient with them, and you have to coach rather than, you know, watch for mistakes. You have to encourage. You have to be a more of a mentor. I think everybody will reach that potential on their own. and people will do it at different speeds.
Okay.
I think that's great way, like, like focus on somebody's like what they did well as opposed to like hound them on what they did wrong. Because
Correct.
then you're kind of like building them up
Encouraging.
constantly. Yeah, about you're doing great, you did this wrong, but it's okay, you did this. And I think that's how you build confidence. And sometimes I think I've had managers and pit bosses and whatever who've they focus on the negative as opposed to the positive. And I think from my experience, like the 5 years I worked with you, I don't think you ever focused on the negative. It was always like, hey, like this is cool, and it was always like the positive side of it, either like how much fun we had and shit like that. Is so that's cool.
And then you're going to run across some people that are just don't seem to get it, but they will. You need patience and you need encouragement. Otherwise, you just kill them. They just get worse.
No, I agree. I just think here's my one point, CB. Here's the fact that we worked as managers together, but now like this new generation never had the opportunity to work with you. So if they're getting it from someone that like I passed on to, like you passed your knowledge on to me. You're definitely one of the mentors when I was coming up as a pit manager, and when I moved from the games manager, I feel like a diluted version of the people that I used to work with because they're not getting the full, they never got to work with you. And that's what kind of sucks about it. And that's kind of why like we did this channel, and that's why we kind of talk about casino industry, and we try to keep people together, and we want to bridge the generation so that people that never got a chance to work with you can like obtain advice. They can like reach out to people like you and like Wyatt and people that have been in the industry before, because I think it's really important to know about how it was before and what's changed and what they can do to make things better. So, and what to avoid, of course. I don't always
Well,
want to.
it's important who you have training you and who is actually judging you, because people, like I say, learn at different rates. And I'm not just talking mentally, physically. I mean, some people have dexterity to do things, to shuffle, to manipulate cards or chips, all that kind of stuff. And sometimes it comes with experience. Some people just have it naturally, and those who have it naturally accelerate much faster, appear better, smoother.
Yeah, but sometimes they can't talk to the patrons either, right? So,
Yeah,
and I think you
they
need
can't
to
chew
find that
gum anymore.
balance. Yeah, exactly. Just a couple of comments here. This is the person furthest away from us right now. This is Joey. Love you, buddy. Nice. We actually talked over Christmas. Nice to meet you. Nice seeing you again. Hopefully the UK is. Hopefully the weather there is better than how it was quite a while ago here compared to here. Not very good.
Yeah, we can't. But the UK can't cope with snow. We just fall apart.
Yeah, apparently that's how it is here too on the roads. Like it's like the first time that people have driven in snow here. If you saw the white mud, oh my god. Anyways, so Cindy says there was a friendly, competitive atmosphere at the casino that would challenge people to be good. Is that what's missing right now?
Well, I think it's always there. You have your elites and you have your up and comers and all that stuff. You do look ahead and look forward to uh, other people and how they do things. And you pick up, sometimes you have your own style, sometimes you pick up a style. But I know myself, there's several different jobs. And when I'm learning something new, I'm always trying to um, become comfortable with it, um, so that it is second nature.
CB, on that note, when you were dealing, back a long time ago, during the Vietnam War, who was the dealer that you looked at and thought, man, that person was awesome as a dealer?
Uh, I don't know if I really did have a mentor like that or somebody I looked up to. Anybody who could deal and control the cards. Um, I think somebody who had style is who I looked up to. A lot of people could whip the cards out left and right,
Mm.
but somebody who could grab the chips, cut the chips, who had a little bit of style and what they did, always impressed me.
Yeah. Go ahead,
Yeah,
John.
I was not, I always like, I think, to be honest, from like blackjack, I dealt it. I just wasn't very good at it, to be honest. I could do it, but I think there was a lot of like finesse with blackjack, and it was, I don't know, it was just something it was like painting like a wall. I wasn't very good at it, but I mean, like there was a lot of like it was a skill that I didn't have, but I could see it that somebody else had, like dealing blackjack. So it was probably why a lot of times I never dealt it. They were like, John, just go over there, So
Yeah,
yeah,
and even
but
poker dealers just dealing the cards, you can see who has the feel for it. I mean, it just comes. They have it or they don't, and if they don't, then they got to work at it.
mhm.
Yeah. I just think there aren't enough people that teach technique, and and I think that a lot of us have lost our hands too. That's why I'm really like I love doing the blackjack live stream, but I really hate it because I'm not even like how
Mhm.
I'm not even close to what I was before. My hands hurt all the time, and I'm waiting for someone to kind of take over and be like, hey, I could do this blackjack live stream. Okay, that'd be great. So, but
Well, even watching the new kids come in and shuffle the way we were supposed to shuffle is funny. I mean, it's second nature to everybody else, but it's a new technique for a lot of people.
It used to drive me crazy when he used to. I mean, like I say, I wasn't very good blackjack dealer. I could do it, but I wasn't. It was, to your point earlier, Chris, like you mentioned something like, an hour and a half ago, whatever. Like you'll do better when you enjoy it. Like I didn't really enjoy blackjack. It was something that I was
Yeah,
kind of like, I had to do it. I was like, okay, ugh. But like I would go on a blackjack table and I'd be like at the point and I'd be like, oh my god, I have to take someone off, I have to deal. I'm like, and then somebody would like just destroy the cards. You're like, oh they, and I
yeah,
have to deal with these things. I was like, what the hell have they done? You know what I mean? Like, and then like they're all bent and twisted and that shit used to drive me crazy, to be honest.
yes. Well, that's you've hit the nail on the head. I mean, anything in life is much better if you enjoy it. Enjoy doing it if you can, whether it's golf or dealing cards or whatever. It's much more fun if you're enjoying what you're doing.
oh yeah, no, absolutely. Wyatt, sorry, says yes. You have to have the customer service
Mhm.
skills. Yeah, he agrees. See, Roxanne says, I remember some good autocorrect chopping contests on roulette. If you watched me, it is chopping actually, but it is chipping contests were absolutely like the craze, and I've never seen one. The only time I've seen one is in training actually, so that's something that's lost, and we haven't had that for a long time. And I'm
Yes,
talking ABS, right? Like it's been a while since we've seen that. So
even at the palace many years ago, in the olden days, we were thinking of having a games night, like a casino Olympics,
yeah,
where you tried several different things, chipping and dealing and such. But yeah, that would be something that would be interesting.
yeah,
I think that's a great idea. I, just because, well, for two reasons. One, if people think, I think generally people are competitive. Like, we talk about like golf or poker or anything else. We would love to do it as a team. We go, or as a group, like, oh my god, I did it faster than you, or
Mhm.
it's something we would like to do, and it builds people's like ability to deal and dexterity and things like that. And it would just be fun, right? Like a way to be like together and be, oh, I did this, and you could watch somebody and go, oh man, when I learn roulette, I want to be as good as Jay or CB. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's something that you look up to, right? I mean, I think maybe some of that has been lost, because you don't have someone you want to look up to be like, man, that guy was super good. I want to be that good, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, it is definitely different now. What? No dexterity. Yeah, no, trust me. When you see those videos on my channel, like of doing like the chip trick ones and whatnot,
Yeah.
it takes me like the whole day to just get it down because the arthritis comes in and my hands are sore, and like honestly, it's not even close to when I was half my age. It came easy, but now it's just holy cow! It's so tough to just kind of keep your hands going, and I'm scared to go back. I don't know how long I could deal. My hands are ready to go, so you feel the pain in there, and yeah, I'll be I don't know. I have a shelf life, so it's like a carton of milk right now, so it's still gonna give me some time, and I think I'll be retiring soon, so but
And it's not everybody who actually goes after these tricks, not these tricks, but movements, shuffling chips or moving them across your knuckles or just any of that stuff. It doesn't really appeal to a lot of people.
no, it's true. But I think that sorry, Wyatt says we all have best before dates.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. I think we can talk about being flashy and fancy, but that the technical aspect of the game also needs to be respected, and just dealing straight up and kind of doing it properly. Following like the rules that are given to you. It's
Yeah.
super super important, and I think that in itself is more artistic in some ways too. Just to be like technical and not make mistakes, right? Like I remember working with Danny on Pygao and Danielle, and he was on Pygao tiles, and I never caught him ever watching him make a mistake, which was incredible. And that's what I want to strive to. It's not about like the style or anything like that. It's
Yeah.
just about being that accurate. It was so impressive to me, and it's still in my head. It resonates with me now. So
Yes, that's the first thing everybody should aspire to is accuracy.
yeah.
But hey, Steve. So here's a question. So, and I throw this out sometimes. What would you prefer? As a manager, okay, somebody who is technically brilliant, like never makes a mistake, but is awful at the customer service side of it, or somebody who is not so good at dealing, but is great with the customer service side of it. Like people, the players love him and stuff like that. But is a really slow dealer, doesn't make mistakes, but is really slow but just plods away. But is great with the players.
Well, I think everybody would love somebody who's all around, but definitely you don't want somebody who's making mistakes.
Mhm.
So actually, skill is going to be being able to do the job first. Customer service will always come after, but it is imperative.
Interesting.
Because I think like to your point, I think like obviously like we have to be technically deal. So you take the winners and you pay the take the winners, pay the losers. I'll say that, but I'll do that. So you take the losers, you pay the winners. But I mean, sometimes I think we focus more on like the speed and like trying to get as many hands as possible, and miss out on the fact that this is an entertainment industry, right? And the dealers need to engage with the players and have fun with the players. And like I remember seeing you so many times, like talking to the players and while things are going on, and like and being part of the experience, right? And I'm not
Absolutely.
sure that happens anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. There's again, certain people have the skill, certain people don't, and they can develop it. But it depends how you bring them along. again, it's how you encourage people, how you train them, and if they have confidence in themselves. I've had lots of people who've been able to deal and will talk, but will talk about inappropriate stuff. And even though they're friendly with their customers, it's not stuff that they should be discussing.
Mhm.
Oh, that's what happens on a craps table for. Yeah. Why don't we call out that game and those people there?
Yeah, you might have just described me. Well, a long time ago. I don't do that anymore, obviously, because I don't do it.
White says pride in the game that you're dealing, and also says we can't lose sight of who we're there for. That's true.
Yeah.
All right. Are you sorry, John? Did you want to say something?
No, I just want to thank CB to come on. Really, CB, like, I worked with you for 5 years, which obviously wasn't a long time in the grand scheme of things. I had so much fun working with you. You were such a great manager. It was awesome experience. You were one of the reasons why the time that I worked in the Palace Casino was so much fun. I just want to thank you for that, because I haven't seen you for a while, and I'm looking forward to the time when we can all go back to a bar and do the whole reunion jig again. So I'm
always
thank
up
you.
for that.
Yeah. So I just want to thank you for that.
Well, I really can't take all the glory because it was everybody. I enjoyed working with everyone, and I think that's a key. When they're comfortable, you get the best out of them, and everybody was good. They were funny, they were skilled. I enjoyed watching them grow. It was just a good time.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree as well. To John's point, I think you're really good with people, and that's one of the biggest things about like why everyone loves you and why everyone was so excited to have you on today. So, no, thank you so much. Just a couple pictures I wanted to show you here because I'm a hoarder. So look at this. Look at this. This was on one of
Look
your.
at- Look at that handsome devil.
Yeah. This strapping gentleman here. Look at this picture. I love the hat. Pretty awesome. You have a microphone there. I'm assuming it's one of the karaoke nights, or you were hosting one of the golf tournaments. So
It could have been golf.
there was this. Okay, it's getting late here, but there's this one story. I was looking like this whole episode for this photo, and I couldn't find it. But I just remember the one story. I was working in HR at the time, and you're still managing. I came in, and I think I was a baccarat, but I dropped by the Palace because I was still doing training every now and then, and I saw this photo of you on the desk, and it was like this frame photo, like with your picture, and I freaked out, and I was like, "What the hell happened with CB? What the hell's going on?" Because it was like this photo, and it looked like it was like I swear to God, like it just looked like something happened, and then I forgot who it was, but then one of them was just like, no, that's our photos for the duty manager. I'm like, oh my God, like, because I was freaking out. The first thing that they said to me was like, oh, he's not here. I'm like, what do you mean he's not here? I was like freaking out. I didn't know what's going on. Why is there a framed picture of CB on the desk? It was just like, oh my God. But nobody said anything. It was no. Yeah, like I think it was like 5 minutes later too. It's like, oh yeah, that's just our new duty manager photos. We're just trying this out, seeing if it was gonna work or not. But just to have it there was just freaking me out. But anyways, I will get that photo because I took a picture of it because I was freaked out about it. But I took a picture of it. I'm definitely gonna put it on the Casino District Canada post because I remember they were talking to you about they were sharing stories about you, and I love that post. So. Really cool.
Came out of a meeting when we decided that maybe the games manager should have a duty photo up in front and whoever was on. So I was the guinea pig, and then Judith ended up being saddled with the picture in slots.
Oh my God. Yeah. It freaked me out, and I'm sorry. It was just like another comment. Okay, so Wyatt says great memories of being with great people. So yeah, I mean it was cool to work with. Well, yeah, with both of you and with Wyatt for a little bit there. It's just absolutely. I mean, just to reiterate everything that we've been saying this episode, it's about the people, and that's what I love about it. So, oh, sorry, one more thing here. Look at this, Miss Nicole.
Hi, Nicole.
Nicole.
Nice to see you. Hopefully, you're doing well over there. Hopefully, the weather is okay. It's not very good here.
We're just missing Jason and Todd.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she was also on previously. So if you guys have some time, if you want to see some of the other episodes, this is our 25th episode. This is crazy. I don't know when our season finale is going to be, John. I don't know how many episodes we're supposed to do for a season. I don't know when we switch it to.
To be honest, I didn't even know this was supposed to go on for so long. It's like we started one. I was like, "Hey, John, just let's start this." And to be honest, it's been awesome. I really enjoyed everything, and especially during and CB. Just so you know, this is really cool for people. Like this COVID, and we're all stuck in, and it's a challenge and everything else. It's a really great way for people that like we all know and we all like and we all enjoy being around to see what their fellow friends are doing, right? So to see you on here and have you on here has been great. And so everybody's like, hopefully you're doing like you look awesome, by the way. And we're just all looking forward to connecting again. So this was something really cool to share with everybody else, that your friends, that we can hopefully do this, see how great you're doing, and meet again soon.
Thanks. It was a great opportunity. I'm glad you guys contacted me. I'm very happy to be here, and it's bringing back memories is so much fun. And all these people that I worked with, I mean, there's so many that you could go on and spend the whole hour mentioning names. But yes, everybody was great, and this was a great opportunity to touch base with everyone.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. CV, you're a great manager. I mean, you're great at everything. You're a great manager. You're great at you kicked our asses in pool, and you beat us in golf. I mean, anything that you can name, you're really good at. So it was you taught us when we were growing in the industry, and it was just so cool to have you as a part of my career, and I'll speak on behalf of Mike and everybody else too. So same with Roxanne. One more comment here. These make me miss the casino less. Brings back so many amazing memories. I look forward to every Wednesday night. Well, thanks. I mean, if we get people like CB on, I think it's pretty amazing. And this is
absolutely, they're all great memories.
Yeah, I feel so good to have you on, CB. It's great to. I was like, we need to have CB on. Yeah. Everyone else is saying that too. So I'm so happy that you spent the time here with us today.
Very nice. I enjoyed it. Nice saying hi to all these names and people. It would be great for us to get together when this COVID thing is gone.
For sure. And the crazy thing is, Steve, like it's almost 2 hours. Like it just flies by, eh?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many unmentioned stories and people and things. I mean, it was a great time, a long time.
Okay.
I really enjoyed it.
Oh, that's so great. Okay, so we have a minute. We'll have a minute, and we're going to crack the 2 hour. Again, John, this is insane. It's supposed to be a 30-minute episode. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. We usually go like hour and a half, 2 hours, but we knew it'd be a full 2 hours with UCB. So, John, any final comments?
Man, it was so much fun to see you and talk to CB again, and I'm really glad that you came on, Seeps, because everybody wanted to talk to you and say hi to you, and just a comment about how you made a really big difference to people's lives. You probably never realized how big an impact you made on them. And yeah, this was so much fun. thank you for coming on. And hopefully I can't wait till we can all meet again and have a few drinks and just chat about some other shit when we get together in real time.
So cool.
Absolutely. Take care. And everybody had a great impact on me as well. So it was very nice to be here.
All right. Any final shout outs, CB? Anybody you want to say hi to before we end our live stream?
No, hi, everybody. Everybody else. There's so many names.
Okay, well, we can't wait to see you live. Hopefully, we'll have you on the episode. We'll have you on again, CB. There's a lot of stories that we never got to share, and there's a lot more people that probably aren't here today that wanted to say hi to you. So, but thank you so much. Thank you so much for being on.
Anytime.
Okay, guys. All right.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Okay.
I was like, I can't figure out my hand. It was like, it's not being seen. Okay. See you later, guys. It was
All
so
right.
great to see you guys. Bye.
Okay, take care.
Bye.